Welcome to another session with me, Aziz, your mentor in residence at the Accelerate with Aziz community. Looking forward to another powerful conversation with you guys. I really do enjoy these sessions with you because it allows me to connect with all of you in my community and create a real impact and support you as you make your shifts in your identity and become who you need to be to do what you need to do so you can have the things and the results that you want. Right? So we're here to have a powerful conversation. The theme for this week's talk is problems. And more specifically, are you solving the right problem? And I think many of us at some point in our entrepreneurial journey, especially when the chips are down, the curve is downward facing, and everything feels like an uphill battle, we silently say to ourselves, am I solving the right problem? And so today I want to share with you 3 ways that you can validate the problem that you are solving with your business, with your solution, with your product, with your service, and really get deep insight into not only what the pain point is, but how deep the pain is seated. And more importantly, the way in which your ideal client communicates, feels about, and deals with the problem that you want to solve. So again, the theme for this week's session, are you solving the right problem? And there are 3 ways fundamentally which you can use to validate the problem and make sure that you are solving the problem in the right way. All right? So those 3 ways that we're going to cover in today's session, which are the 3 ways you can use to validate if you are solving the right problem and if you are solving the biggest, the most painful, the most high value version of that problem, is through number 1, research. Number 2, interviews. Number 3, observation. And I'm quite excited to also announce that I've recently connected with a new partner who is a design strategist out of Europe. And she's got some very deep insight into the space, into design thinking and strategy, and developing solutions which are design driven. And together, I'm now seeding this topic to you that we are going to be doing a masterclass on this very topic. Are you solving the right problem? And so what I'm sharing with you today is a quick glimpse behind the curtain in terms of what we are going to be talking about and the value we are going to be delivering in that masterclass in terms of helping you get clarity and validating your solution against the problem you think you're solving, the problem you want to solve, and the problem you should be solving. So this is me really pushing your buttons and really trying to see if you are actually solving the problem you think you are solving, and if you're not leaving any money on the table. So without further ado, let's get into one of 3. The first is research. The second is interviews. The third is observation. These are the 3 ways that you validate the problem that you're solving. So the first way, being research, is pretty self-explanatory, right? It's literally desktop research, which you will conduct in terms of your target market and the problem that you want to solve. So the value of doing the research is getting some sense of what the offerings are already in the space, who are already solving this problem, and how they are currently solving it. And remember, the most important thing, if you walk away with nothing else from today's session, is to understand that people don't buy because of what you sell. People buy why you sell it, right? So you need to give them a persuasive reason to buy. That's fundamentally it, right? And that's actually from Steve Jobs. He said that, you know, and so that's why, circling back to one of our previous sessions, it's so important that you take the time to focus on your vision and your mission, because without a persuasive why, right, a bigger purpose, a bigger impact, a literally a bigger mission than yourself, you will struggle to separate yourself from the pack and stand out in the marketplace, because essentially you stand for nothing. Okay, so do the desktop research, right? Understand the competitive marketplace, understand what the offerings are currently available in the marketplace. Hey, Thornhill Matthew, thank you for joining us. Tasneem, I see you there too, joined us now. I had some technical issues. Thanks for making the effort, I appreciate it. So coming back to the topic, so do the desktop research, understand the competitive marketplace, do the SWOT analysis. Don't worry too much about the pricing right now. We'll get into that in another session. Right now, we're just focused on understanding the problem, what solutions are available. And so the outcome of this stage, if you choose to validate your market in this way, or your pain point or problem in this way, is that we want to identify what is the total addressable market, which is called the TAM, right? VCs talk about what is the TAM. And so what the TAM means, the total addressable market, is how many people have this problem. Is it 100 problem? Is it 1,000 problem? Is it 1,000,000 problem? Is it $1 billion problem? Right? And depending on the type of business you want to build for yourself, if it's a lifestyle business, you might not care. You know, the fact that there are a market of 100 people might be enough for you. 1,000 people might be enough for you. 10,000 people might be enough for you. If you're looking for VC funding and looking to build the next unicorn in the tech space, you want to be solving $1 billion problems, right? So you need a $1 billion market. You need you need to be capturing 10% of 10 billion, to be building a $1 billion business, essentially. Right? So that's the value of research, and people often discount it, but it is such a crucial step, especially when you're getting started out and you're trying to figure out where you fit in the marketplace, because the last thing you want to do is make the mistake of going into a red ocean. What do I mean by that? A market that there's so many players, so many offerings, everyone is competing on price, and you have no unique value proposition. And the only thing that you feel like you can do is discount and discount and discount until you're paying your customers to work for you. Right? And that is not a place you want to be in. So you want to be in a blue ocean market where there is a very niche specific problem that you solve in a very unique way. And you are one of the few people in the world that can solve that problem. Right? That's how you build preeminence in the marketplace. So the second way to do it is through interviews. And this is a very powerful one for me, because it not only gives you insight into a marketplace that is, hopefully going to buy from you one day, but it allows you to interview previous and existing customers, and more importantly, customers you've lost and leads you've lost. And this part, the negative part of the equation, customers lost and leads lost, is in fact sometimes more insightful and more important than the happy customers, right? It's like when I'm on a discovery call or on a closing call and someone asks me, can I have some testimonials? 100%, I'll share the testimonials with you. But the problem is that logic says that if you're asking me for testimonials, I'm going to give you the best reviews, the best testimonials I have in my library right now, because I'm trying to convince you to choose me. And so it doesn't really give you a true reflection if that is truly your objection, right? And so in the same way, when you speak to clients that have been with you a long time, that are very happy with your service, who have always given you raving reviews and referred people to you, you're not really gaining deep insight into what you could improve or what you're doing wrong in your business, or how you could maximize the potential of the solution you provide to the problem you think you're solving. And so that is why it's important, even if you have to incentivize it, even if you have to buy that mall voucher or that online store voucher, or send them some chocolates or some flowers, whatever the case may be, to get them on the phone, to be able to ask them the questions that gives you insight into validating the problem that you are solving for them, or the problem you thought you were going to solve for them in the case of lost leads and lost clients, and in what ways you failed to do so. And I know these are hard conversations to have, but that's why they're the most important conversations to have, because everything you want is on the other side of uncomfortable. Everything you want is on the other side of difficult, right? And all you need to do is take that tiny step to accomplish big, big, big goals. And so this is one of the ways to do that, to have those difficult conversations with clients and leads that you've lost, to understand what it is that you did wrong, where you failed, and where you can improve. And I know that we speak a lot. Hey, Asin, thanks for joining us. I know that we speak a lot here about success and what you need to be doing right and how you can avoid failure. But I feel as a group, as a collective, as a tribe, we focus too much on what's going great, what's going right, what is the perception that we're giving to the world about how everything is so amazing. And we talk very little about the failures. We talk very little about what we did wrong, or what we're doing wrong, or what we don't know that we don't know. And so for me, it's very important to I believe that the lessons are in the failures, not in the wins, right? Like I was reading something the other day and they were saying, you know, everyone, when they see success, it seems like it happened overnight, but they didn't see the 15 years of failure, the failing forward that led to that moment, that led to that success, that led to that achievement. They only see that it happened in a single moment of time. And so oftentimes it seems as if success happens not at all for long, long, long periods of time, and then happens all at once, right? And that's why I call it an overnight success. But I implore you, I encourage you, I recommend to you to reach out to these people, incentivize them, make it clear to them that you're not looking to re-up them. You're not looking to convert them or persuade them to rejoin you if you've lost them, or try and pitch them again if they were just a lead. But you need to have those conversations to understand what you can do to improve your offer. Because if you're not, you're leaving money on the table. Like, if you have your leads list in front of you right now, and I actually want you to take the time to do this exercise, right? You obviously have maybe the name, the phone number, the last time they were contacted, whether they chose to move forward or not, or maybe you haven't even done anything with them. And now what I want you to do is choose a number. Let's call it $100, and put $100 next to each one of their names, because each one of those names, each one of those leads, there was a cost to you in hard cash or time in acquiring that lead, that contact, whether you want to acknowledge it or not, because your time has a price, right? Your assets have a cost. And so by putting that number there, you remind yourself that every day, every hour, every minute that you choose to not pick up the phone, that you choose not to reach out to that lead, that you choose not to send that email, you're burning $100. You're just leaving it there. You're just doing nothing with it. So that's the second way of the 3 ways in which you can validate our theme today. Are you solving the right problem? The first way, like we said, was research. The outcome, the result to focus on there is what is my total addressable market, right? It's desktop research, it's Googling, it's doing all of those things. And then the second way is through interviews, interviewing existing and past clients, happy ones, sad ones, good ones, bad ones, leads that you've lost, clients that you've lost, to understand what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, what you could be improving on. And then the third way that you can validate if you are solving the right problem with your business, with your product, with your service, with your solution, is through observation. And so a great example of this is, for instance, if actually, let's tell a story. So McDonald's was struggling to sell milkshakes. And they hired a whole bunch of consultants, and they came in and they tried different flavors, and they tried different sizes, and they tried different price points. And everything they did, it did not work. And they just, bottom line, couldn't sell milkshakes. And so after all this implementation, all this investment and getting it wrong, they eventually got this design innovation expert in, who then decided he was going to sit outside a McDonald's for 18 hours and observe, watch how people came in, what they did when they came in, what they ordered, how many, what they did when they left. And he sat there for 18 hours observing how people ordered McDonald's. And after these 18 hours, he came to the conclusion that more than half of the milkshakes were sold before 8:30 in the morning. And now, why do you think that is? So I'm going to tell you why. They were bought before 8:30 in the morning because people were coming in to buy them so that they could sit in traffic and have something to do on their way to work. And when he realized this, they did two things. They moved the milkshake to the drive-through so that people could get them quickly and not be late for work. They made sure they had 100% uptime on their machines in the morning. They went for flavors that resembled drinks that people drink in the morning. So there were flavors like Oreo and coffee and these types of things. And then they realized that they were not competing in the beverage space, but they were actually competing against the bagel, against the donut. And so you'll often find, I don't know when last any of you have been through a McDonald's drive-through. I know for certain reasons, some of us are not doing the McDonald's thing right now, but in the morning, they try and upsell you a donut. And that has to do with the fact that the milkshake sales are the best in the morning, and milkshakes compete with donuts. So if you can't beat them, join them. So instead of competing against the donut, buy the milkshake and the donut. Right? So this is the power of observation. Another story was KFC was struggling. I think I shared this one with some of you. KFC was struggling to sell one of its products. I think it was, now I'm going to lie to you. Anyway, one of its products, and they did everything they could. They promoted it, they discounted it, they did everything. This thing just wouldn't move. People weren't ordering it. And so they brought in this consultant, and he said to them, so you've repackaged it, you've moved it around on the menu, you've discounted it. What about raising the price? And they asked him, will it work? So he's like, well, at this point, there's no risk, right? Because they're really not buying it. So if you raise the price and they don't buy it, no harm, no foul. And so they did. They raised the price on it, following his advice. And sales immediately jumped something like 17%. And within a very short space of time, it became one of their best sellers. And so this is the power of observation, right, guys? To be able to observe your clients and what they do, not only during the client journey, but during the buyer journey. How are they moving? How are they getting awareness that you're there? that you are something they should be considering. And once you're part of that consideration set, how are they making those decisions? Because if you understand that, you have the power to control it. And if you have the power to control it, you can stack the odds in your favor. And so if you are at any point in time feeling like you're in rocky waters and unsure if you are solving the right problem with your solution, with your product, with your business, with your service, then I would recommend that you use one of these three ways, either research or interviews or observation, to optimize your model, optimize your offer, and validate the problem that you solve. Because without you knowing it, you could either be solving the most surface level version of the pain that you think you're solving and leaving hundreds of thousands, if not millions, on the table. And even worse than that, you could be solving the wrong problem altogether. And so I would recommend use one of these three ways to validate your problem. And like I mentioned earlier, very excited to announce that there's something baking, and I'm going to be doing a collab with a European design strategist, and we're going to be doing a masterclass on this very topic, which is, are you solving the right problem? And we're going to be going deep into supporting you to get clarity on whether or not you're solving the right problem or the right version of your problem, and how you can be doing better, how you can be improving, and how you can be ensuring that you're not leaving money on the table. So we have a little bit of time for questions. Like I said, I think it's been like 2-3 weeks now, we've changed the model here. It's no longer just a pure Q&A session. We're bringing you deep, impactful insights to serve you powerfully and make these conversations as value-packed as possible. And then we're going to keep it down to just 30 minutes and focus on a single topic. As you guys know, the topic for this week was, how do you ensure that you're solving the right problem? And we've shared with you today 3 ways that you can do exactly that by validating through research, through interviews, and through observation. All right. Obviously, best case scenario, you decide to use all 3 of these in combination, then becomes very powerful. But you need to only do one, and do the one that makes the most sense for you. If you're just starting out and you don't have clients yet, obviously the interview one may be hard. Although, I've personally conducted research projects on platforms like LinkedIn, where I'm simply connecting and reaching out to people and saying, I'm doing this research project. This is the problem I'm looking to solve. And can I speak to you? I actually did that before we launched the school community, and we launched our signature course. In the school community, I connected with and spoke with 360 odd business owners. I think the number was, if memory serves, to validate that we were solving the right problem. And that is the power of research and interviews. And, it's such a powerful thing, even when it comes to your marketing. If you can communicate the problem of your ideal client to them in their own words, because the best copywriter, the best marketer for your business is someone that has used, consumed, immersed themselves in your product. I think even Tasneem can attest to this, right? It's like, I have a deep understanding of a business because I've been a user, right? So it's really important to have those conversations. And more importantly, especially in the interview one, it's about the questions that you ask, right? It's garbage in, garbage out, right? If you ask good questions, you'll get good answers. If you ask crappy questions, you'll get crap answers. And so it's really powerful to do that. But if you do nothing else, at least do the base desktop research to validate that there is a market, there is growing demand. It comes back to what I was saying in the signature course to you guys. You need to understand who you're targeting and what their pain is, if they have pain in the first place. The second thing is about, do they have the budget? Are they players with money? Are they the highest version of the client that you can serve in that market? And then the third thing is, How fast can you solve this problem? You know, because the faster you can solve the problem, the more you can charge. The more simpler, the more easy you can make the problem, the least friction you can create for the buyer, the more you can charge, right? Like, let me give you an example. If you say you sell weight loss, and so there's someone that's a personal trainer and they sell weight loss by providing a meal plan and an exercise plan. That's what they do. And maybe they can get a few $100 for that version of a solution for that problem of weight loss. Then comes the supplement provider, and the supplement provider says, well, I also focus on weight loss, and you need the diet plan, but because you just take my tablet every day, you don't need the exercise plan. So now they can charge a little bit more. So maybe their share of wallet is at the top of the hundreds or a few thousand, because they've replaced effort with a pill. Still, it's going to take some time, right? So in the first, with the personal trainer, that might take a few months to see results. With the pill, it might take 30 days. Then comes the surgeon that says, I also do weight loss and I do gastric bypasses, and you can get the same results or even better than the pill or the exercise plan and the diet, and I can do it for you in 7 hours. What out of the 3 of those do you think the person is going to take? No effort from you. All you need to do is lay on the table for 7 hours. But what do you think that surgeon can charge for that operation? Tens of thousands? Hundreds of thousands? For the right person to solve that problem with the budget. The person that has that pain and that budget will choose the surgeon every time. And so you must be the one that is solving the problem in the simplest and the fastest way. And the more simple you can make it, the faster you can make it, the more money you can make. So I don't want to keep you guys too long. I promised it would be a 30-minute session. Thank you, Amir. Thanks for joining me on the tail end. Today, we were talking about how you ensure and validate that your business is solving the right problem. We covered 3 methods, which is research, interviews, and observation. And I hope you guys got value out of that. And as always, join in the conversation, in the community, post your money's worth moments. And I look forward to seeing you guys again next week. For those of you that haven't yet joined the community, please do so and get a ton of value and clarity and transformation from the support of me and the community and the content there. And the link is in bio. So until next week, I'm Aziz Gul. Stay good. Bye-bye.